I'm a first-generation immigrant, and I'm originally from Pakistan. For many of us growing up in Pakistan, American movies gave us our first impressions of America. As a child, I loved action movies, and my favorite movie was Rocky I. I just loved how in round 14, Apollo Creed kept knocking Rocky down, and Rocky kept getting back up, never giving up. To me, this movie symbolized this great American value, that winning is not the most important thing. The most important thing is giving your best effort and going the distance. I had always wanted to come to America for my education, but it's not an easy decision for a middle-class family in Pakistan to send their son to school to the US. I still remember the conversation that my parents had. My dad told my mom that I have worked hard all my life and I have this much in savings. We can either buy a house or send our son to do his MBA to the US. Without a moment's hesitation, my mom told him, I don't want a house, send our son to the US. That's how I landed at the State University of New York at Buffalo 19 years ago. It was the first time that I had left Pakistan. I instantly fell in love with America because America gave me a platform to be self-sufficient. I had only brought money from home for the first year of school, and starting in year 2, I got a scholarship and a job that covered my living expenses. After I completed my MBA, I really wanted to settle down in America and find a job here. But it was right after 9/11, and very few companies were willing to sponsor my work visa. I figured that my best shot to get a job here is to move to New York City. So, with 2 friends, I packed up and moved to New York City to try my luck. We rented a tiny 1-bedroom apartment in Harlem, which the 3 of us shared. Needless to say, it was extremely difficult. There came a point where I ran out of money, and in order to pay my bills, I had to work at United Colors of Benetton selling clothes. I did this for about a year. Finally, I found a broker-dealer willing to sponsor my work visa, and the job that I had to do was cold call to build a book of business. Now, after completing my MBA, I did not foresee myself doing cold calling, but coming from a job where I was standing all day, selling clothes, getting blisters on my feet, now I'm sitting in a comfortable office making phone calls. You know what? Everything's about perspective. It really didn't seem that bad. Coincidentally, my now partner Syed Nishat also joined this firm at the same time. Both of us instantly connected. We approached our work as if we had no choice but to succeed, because to be honest with you, in reality, we did not. So we would work from early morning to late at night, and very often on weekends. Within a few months, we became the top 2 account openers in the firm. As our clientele grew, Syed and I realized that because of this relationship of trust that we had developed with our clients, they wanted us to take care of all aspects of their financial life, not just investment management. So for example, they wanted us to take care of things like tax planning, retirement planning, estate planning. We decided that the best way to cater to these needs was by becoming fiduciary, fee-based financial advisors. We felt as if finally we found our calling. Unfortunately for us, management did not agree. Our branch manager was extremely opposed to us going fee-based because he felt that this would mean a decline in revenues. I tried to explain to him that even if revenues were to fall in the short term, by having more meaningful client relationships, revenues would go up far more in the long term. However, his mindset was fixed. And when we persisted, he created an extremely difficult work environment for us. All sorts of hurdles were put in our way, including threats of being fired and my team getting taken away from me. Not my style of management, but you know what? Looking back, in a way, I'm grateful for the experience, because that was the final straw which convinced Syed and I that we needed to fight for our clients' well-being and set up our own fiduciary fee-based firm. That's how our firm, Wall Street Alliance Group, got created 9 years ago. I'm sure, given the circumstances, Rocky would have chosen the same path. The reason why Syed and I had success from the very onset of our financial services career is because we realized that there was a trick to this business. Be a specialist rather than a generalist. Our speciality was that we approached first-generation immigrants because we had a natural cultural affinity with them. Being first generation ourselves, we could relate to them and cater to their needs in a way that an American-born advisor could not. We discovered that those within the first generation community with the greatest need for financial planning were the very successful. So we further narrowed our focus on affluent first generation immigrants. We had tapped into a sorely neglected demographic. These affluent first-generation immigrants' life journey was very similar to that of Syed and mine. They had left the comfort of their home countries and come to the United States for one reason. And that reason was so that they could give their children a better future, give their families greater opportunities. They went through a lot of initial struggle to get settled in America, but over a period of time, through hard work and perseverance, achieved a tremendous amount of professional success in occupations such as physicians, business owners, and engineers. Since they were professionally very successful, they had complex financial planning needs. But the challenge that they faced was that because they did not grow up in America, they were not familiar with the financial planning concepts that are considered to be the norm here. Many of them came from countries where the stock market was not even fully developed, and investing in it was viewed as a form of gambling. Some of them were comfortable in just investing in gold and real estate. One of my clients, who's an emergency room physician, said it best when he said, "You and I, Aadil, we're in a similar line of work. We are both in the business of making people's lives better." Syed and I realized that the only way we could make our clients' financial lives better was by giving them comprehensive financial solutions. In order to do that, we needed to have a team of experts. So we went on to form alliances with attorneys, actuaries, and CPAs so that we could provide our clients with a true one-stop shop solution for all their financial needs. Up until we started our firm, the way in which we got new clients was through cold calling. We wanted a better approach. Since I had a knack for public speaking, we decided to capitalize on it and went on to arrange seminars focused on educating prospects on financial concepts and principles. Think about it. All of us sitting in this room over here, each one of us has some inborn natural strength or interest. For me, it happened to be public speaking. For you, it might be something else. Try to find a way to use your inborn strength in your business. This will not only lead to better results, but will also be more fulfilling. We've all heard this saying, it's not personal, it's just business. Syed and I don't think that way at all. What we have always believed in is that if you care deeply for your clients, love your clients, this business will give you back 10 times more than what you put in. When you have that type of a relationship with your clients, what ends up happening is that when there's a good news, you're one of the first calls, and when there's a bad news, invariably you're also one of the first calls. I received one such call a few years ago from the ex-wife of a client of mine. Now, this client was a very successful neurologist. He was really into fitness. Every time I used to call him in the evening, he would be in the gym working out. As part of his financial plan, I had asked him to get his estate planning done. But being a first-generation immigrant, he did not fully comprehend the gravity of it and kept putting it off. Now, when his ex-wife called me, I was shocked because she told me that a few days ago, my client had woken up in the morning and had a massive heart attack. His dead body was found on the bedroom floor by their 17-year-old son who lived with him. Now, on top of all the emotional trauma that the family had to go through, they also had to go through a lengthy, costly, and complicated probate process. I was there every step of the way for them. I did not even think about whether or not this made business sense for me. For me, this was something personal. My client had died, and I would do all that I could to help his family through this troubled time. In the end, my client's ex-wife was so grateful for the work that I did for the family that she herself became my client. But the biggest reward came a few years later when she sent me this email, which read, "Happy New Year to you and your family. I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate all the help and support that you have given me over the years since my ex-husband died. I would have been totally lost without your guidance in managing the financial aspects of his estate." Since Syed and I started our firm 9 years ago, our assets under management have increased by more than 700%. When we started, a very small portion of our business was fee-based, and now our entire book of business is fee-based. We are very fortunate to be growing at a rate of more than 20% a year. We find that because of having a holistic fiduciary approach, our client relationships are strong and more meaningful. We find that our clients introduce us to their children so we can start their financial education at our early stage. Our typical client relationship spans multiple generations. Over the years, we developed a reputation of doing high-quality work for clients across the country, which enabled us to broaden our scope. Having established a brand recognition, both Syed and I get invited to give talks across the country on the importance of financial planning for first-generation immigrant families. Above all, every day that we work, we have a sense of fulfillment and pride in what we do. And remember my parents who sacrificed buying a house to send me to America? They eventually got their house. It was partly because I was able to help fund my two brothers' college education. I'm also extremely fortunate to have Syed Nishad as my business partner, whose tenacity and attention to detail are the foundation for a firm's success. So thank you, Syed, for being a great partner. The story that I have just told you about Syed and I is not unique. It is the story of many first-generation immigrant families in the United States. America embraces diversity and is the only place in the world where you can start from nothing, but just through effort and hard work, make something of your life. That's what makes America so truly special. My message to anyone in this business is that every one of us is a specialist of some kind by virtue of being a unique human being. Try to find out what your specialty is and leverage it in your business. Care deeply for your clients and use your personal experience and expertise to help them. And if you're in this business long enough, there are going to be times when you're going to get the wind knocked out of you. But like my hero Rocky Balboa said, life is not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Thank you. Thank you.